Oh, wait. I apologize to everybody out there for all that smoke over Toronto right now and Ontario. It might have
I
been me.
knew it.
I'm
I knew
sorry.
it.
I'm sorry. But you know what? Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, whatever time it is for you right now. Just know that you are locked in on Fun Facts with
Notes.
and the King. You guys know what to do. Find us everywhere on social media. You can find us everywhere you want to, even if you want to just hear us because we can't see you right now. But you guys can find us. And thank you guys for tuning in once again. It's very much appreciated. And Notes, how you doing today, my man?
We're doing good. Future's so bright. I gotta wear shades.
Oh, damn, my man. Coming in poetically. Love it. Ah, geez. Well, Notes, I got a fun fact for you. Last week you had one for me.
Yeah,
So I got
hit
a
me.
fun fact for you. The,
I'm ready.
I alluded to it with my cigar that and the smoke coming over the city of Toronto and the province of Ontario. It's unfortunate. So it's nothing to really be made fun of, but at least we have a lot of greenery and a lot of trees out there which scientifically absorb the carbon dioxide, right, and provide us with oxygen when they turn it into that due to photosynthesis. You guys could look that up. But
Yeah.
speaking of the trees, I have a fact for you, man. The
Okay, hit
term,
me.
the term, knock on wood,
Oh, oh, that's a good one.
the term, knock on wood. I'm pretty sure you might be familiar with where that term came from, but if I could just simplify it, it's
I'm
basic.
actually not. I actually don't know.
Oh, really? Okay, so
You got me.
let
You
me let
got
me
me
get
on this one.
let me get you with this one. Okay, so in uh, pagan terms before organized religion and certain things like that, and people believed in like I have a friend, an older man who believes in God, and he calls it the greater outdoors. And they believe he's Druid, and they believe and Wiccan, and they believe that if that the tree is life, right? And there is tree of life, right? We understand it's a living organism, correct?
Yeah.
So, but what they believed way back when is that if you were to like instead of praying to God, right, you can knock on a tree and summon the spirit and ask for what you want and make your prayers towards it. Did you know that?
I didn't know that that was the root of the phrase.
Oh, root. Oh, pun. No pun intended, eh?
Uh, I did know that the ancient Europeans, let's call them the indigenous Europeans, the Gauls and the Celts, they worship nature. They're what we call animistic religion, where they life was in everything. God was in everything. The spirits were in everything. The Japanese have a similar type of religion called Shintoism, but it's a living sort of religion that sees everything as is imbued with sort of mystical energy. Uh, and many of the Germanic tribes that were prominent in Europe in say Julius Caesar's time, uh, they worship trees. The Christmas tree itself is a sort of a distant echo of that ancestral tree worship. Uh, they had something called the Irminsul. Maybe you're familiar with Yggdrasil, the tree of the cosmic tree from the Thor, Odin Norse mythology.
Yeah.
So they saw the universe as a whole tree, with its different levels of the tree and the different branches being different realms or worlds within the cosmos. But it was very common for for tribes and groups of people back then all throughout Europe to have. They would originally erect, an impressive looking tree trunk, one that maybe had fallen or that had been chopped down. But over the years, it became a stone, a symbol, a statue representation of what they worshipped. And in fact, Charlemagne, who was one of the first sort of Christian rulers to unify Europe, one of the things he did in northern Germany was he destroyed Irminsul, this massive ancient oak monument that had been there for who knows how long, and then built a Christian church on the very, very spot where it stood. And that was a famous subject of many paintings and back in the day, of the destruction of Irminsul. And it's in a way, it's like man's triumph over nature, and it's that sort of Western rational
colonization.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was definitely a colonization, because you're looking at Charlemagne was the leader of the Holy Roman Empire, so not quite the Romans, but he took over what the Romans left behind. And Northern Europe was still an untamed wilderness filled with these wild savages, these people with strange ways, and living in a very sort of old world kind of style, not
like close to the earth. They were, though, we would say that
incredibly close to the earth. They weren't agriculturalists; they were pastoralists, which means they didn't so much grow crops as they cultivated a bit. They raised animals, and the rest of it, and they hunted, hunted and fished, and they were
got to do what you got to do to survive, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you live in a place that has so much already, you live in a vast forest filled with wild game, filled with plants and fruits and nuts. They were crazy about hazelnuts, apparently.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
You want to get crazy? Everything you need is kind of right there. So there wasn't as much of an effort to chop down the trees and till the fields and grow the corn and all that, for those people at least.
But do you think, okay, I got a question for you. Do you think also, like you just mentioned, that they lived in the they lived close to the forest and they can forage from there, but also when they buried their loved ones, like you come from the dirt, you go back to the dirt, right? So do you think that maybe that when they buried their ancestors or their loved ones and a tree starts growing, do you think they might have had that belief that the spirit was in there and asking the spirit from the beyond to help me? Right now, Chris, help me, man.
Yeah. Well, I can't specifically answer that question, because I'm really quickly trying to think of the burial practices of those people, especially the Norman or Northern or Europeans. The burial practices say so much about a society. How do you want your dead taken care of? How do you see them? Do you have an afterlife? Are you preparing for the afterlife, or are they still with you in a sense? I'm kind of just trying to buy myself some time here, because I don't remember the burial practices. But I certainly,
I would say, for example, like for myself, my own personal life, my father, every year at his grave, mushrooms grow right above him, and he loved mushrooms, and he loved mushrooms.
That's absolutely fascinating.
So and when I look at the mushrooms, I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like, he's giving that back. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
It's not a pagan thing, but
or the nature's just kind of in harmony with who he was, Like,
yes. So, I think, honestly, I think that it might have been an idea. I was not there 2,000, 3,000 years ago, but the whole idea is like, okay, maybe you buried a loved one, and now something grows from that loved one that came from the earth, and you would want to summon that spirit, right? And kind of like in the nowadays and the organized religions where they pray, where we whatever religion you're in, you pray to a certain god or pray to a certain higher being, right? Maybe they were like so in tuned with the earth that they realized that there's a spirit in there. This is a living organism that came from this organism that is no longer with us. I think that's a fascinating idea, man, because
I
like you said,
I
you don't know
think
about the
it's
burial practices for everywhere, but I think in general. Do you have anything specific?
I just think that it's easy to fall into this sort of trap of thinking that people back then were different from us. They were more connected to nature, or they were this or that. And I think people back then were exactly the same as we are now. They would have been concerned with the day-to-day life. you know they would have been trying to get with this girl, and
What
you
do I
know
eat?
what's for dinner, and this thing on my face, is it really noticeable? And like, it's easy to sort of overthink and mythologize the past, but they were just like us. They scratched their balls. you know they pooped where they agreed was a good place to poop. And they the gods that they worship, we worship pretty much in the same way. I mean, Odin, Zeus, and the Christian idea of God all share a very, very similar concept. I mean, it's really like a sky god.
Yeah,
You
it's a
know,
higher being.
it's
Yeah.
a higher power, and he's kind of up there, and that's still how we think about it. Kind of looking down, and even the whole concept of what up and down are, or hopelessly pre-Copernican ideas. Um, but there's nothing new. These are the old Indo-European cultural ideas that just keep getting expressed and re-expressed over time. And people looked around, they saw the things that they had to work with. The trees, very potent example of the power of nature, the fertility of nature, and sort of a symbol of, like you said, like coming out of the ground and reaching up to the sky.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very powerful metaphor. You can see how early people would have just kind of naturally glommed onto it as sort of a symbol for what they're trying to do. They're striving, they're growing, they're reaching upwards, all of those things. And hence the Christmas tree, also with its sort of magical evergreen properties. All the other trees lose their leaves and kind of die in the winter, but the evergreen, it keeps going. And that made it special.
Stays there and you step on the pine needles while you're walking through your living room.
It, hey, and if you've ever gone into a pine forest and gathered fresh pine nuts, oh man, delicious.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And see, that's the other thing too. Trees bear, like you just mentioned, fertility. They
Yeah.
bear fruit. They bear things for us, right? Like the
Oh yeah.
natural vegetation, because these things are living and we survive off of it. They absorb, like I said earlier at the beginning, they absorb the carbon dioxide in the air,
Yeah.
right? And they give us oxygen, which is what we need. So
Yeah.
it's like a
There's so
symbiotic
many
relationship.
trees in Canada that they offset any amount of pollution we put out. Like, we're not even close. That's how
Yeah.
many trees there are.
And
Justin Trudeau can fly in his jet back and forth all day, every day, and there's still trees gonna gobble up the CO2.
yeah, yeah, but that's
And
true
that's the
though.
real net zero. That's the real net zero. I'm not much of a environmentalist, but I can get behind, hey, let's plant trees. Let's plant more trees.
I'm totally down with that. That's why I got my own garden, and um, I love the trees that I see outside. I want to see more. I
Do
hate
you
when
have a favorite tree? Like, type of
uh
tree?
no, actually. I guess because I went to the high school Oakwood, I gotta represent Oakwood. Got to go with the oak. I don't know.
The
Maybe.
mighty oak, and the tree I was talking about
What's
earlier, the
yours?
Irminsul, was traditionally an oak tree
Oh,
because they grow so very very large and live a very very long time.
oh.
Um, but if you've ever lived underneath an oak tree, I had one growing in my backyard. They're a pain in the ass
No, I never lived near an oak tree.
because they just drop every season. They got a different type of crap that they drop on you.
But it's interesting the idea of the tree and people worshiping them because they they can grow to certain heights. Yes, right. They can
Oh,
bear.
and
They
very
can.
important, they provide shade too.
They provide. Yes, they provide shade. They bear fruit. Um, but the thing is, they outlive us, right?
Exactly.
So it's almost like an eternal thing. It's like I think that idea of knocking on wood and knocking on the tree is asking an elder spirit for guidance, hope,
Yeah.
maybe whatever you need, restitution, whatever it be,
Yeah.
right? Do you agree with that one? And what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, it sounds good, As always here at Fun Facts, we encourage everyone to do their own research
Yes, and let us know
and
because we're dumb.
and don't just take our word for it.
Yes, we're not scientists. I ain't got no PhD.
Yeah. But it sounds good, and I'm definitely gonna check out more because again, we've like covered so much ground and so many interesting topics that I'm immediately gonna go and look some of the stuff up.
Myself as well. Myself as well. But I did look up some of it, and I just wanted to
Yeah,
throw some of that at you. It's nobody really has the true testament to it, but
yeah.
that's where it comes from. And if anybody out there does know and is an expert and wants to let us know, we'd be more than welcome to entertain you and hear it. Right? We would love
So
to.
just so I'm clear, there's no consensus on what the phrase actually means.
Yeah,
There's different theories. It's like our whole 9 yards thing again.
yeah. Don't bring
It's
that up.
everyone knows the expression, but there's no clear example of where it came from.
Exactly. And we appreciate you guys for taking your time to listen to us, right? And maybe we can help you expand your mind and go out there, look, do your own research, figure it out on your own, get back to us, and we would love to hear it, man. Notes, before we get out of here, brother, do you have anything left that you want to say to the people?
No, actually, just what I just said. Like don't just take our word for it. Do your own research. Double verify everything.
All right. So I'm gonna head us out of here. You guys know who I am at King Hussein. Go find me on IG, and you find me at to the point, baby, for your Raptors and your basketball fix. That's my home. That's where I live. Um, and on behalf of myself, and my man Notes right there, my man Notes. I still can't believe I'm doing this with you, brother.
We
But
made it happen, man. We did it.
we did it.
A lot of
We're doing it, and we're
a
gonna
lot
be
of
doing
talk,
it.
a lot of talk, and we got there.
And we're gonna be doing it for you people out there.
And I'm loving the sunglasses.
most importantly, you guys. If you guys like the glasses, let us know. We'll keep it going. Okay. We are the men in black. Yeah. Okay. So
The difference between you and me, though, I'll make this look good.
okay, Agent J. All right, I got you. I got you. All right. So on behalf of myself and Notes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in, spending your time, wasting part of your day with us. We really appreciate you for that. We cannot express how much we appreciate it. So good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, and
Peace.